December 30th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. Good morning, Max. Oh, yeah, good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Tee-hee. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. That's a carton of milk, but okay. Regina! How fabulous, my sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today. Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So, what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess. You'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't, Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on. Or even where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today, I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different. Don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to ya. Everybody! No, you don't do that. Let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo. Top of the morning to you, governor. Top of the morning? That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Ha ha. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my. Thanks. So, how are you today, right? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro. Huh? You think he did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare. All I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is. I'm used to it already. Just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. So exactly does that mean? What are you going to do then, Nick? Guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. I mean, you should do that anyway. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth. You're right. And it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes. That's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but don't believe in people becoming stars. Oh. December 30th. 10 a.m., jeez. District Court. Courtroom number 2. I don't like courtroom 2, it's just not... Oh! Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events. What's the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Oh, did it fly? Or da-da! I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation the prosecution will present, if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor gumshoe. Very well, please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Where'd that bird come from? Where the birds here? Name and occupation. Ken Dingling. But everyone calls me Acro. Where'd the other bird go? I'm employed as an acrobat at the Berry Big Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. What I witnessed? It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later, I saw... Where's his wheelchair? Now, this is the thing, I'm trying to get a good, grasp of the situation here. Where exactly is his wheelchair? Maybe off the picture here, off the image that we're seeing, but it's a question that might be relevant. I don't know where they're going to go with it, that's the issue here. But anyway, then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind. That's who it looked like. Okay. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. Are we never going to address the birds that are on him? This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well. You may proceed with your cross-examination. What I witnessed. Alright. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. We'll press him on that. You said that you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? And that's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. So bright sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. That's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? I strangely agree with the judge. It's a bird. What? I never really thought of that. Guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. What? I mean sometimes. Oh! The witness will proceed with his testimony. At that time I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Alright, we'll press you on that. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed. That is correct. You were still able to hear a sound from outside. Don't really have an issue with that. I was indeed. Pressing Acro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory in what he said just now. It's nothing... I don't feel like there's anything wrong with what he said, to be honest. Put a pin in that. I'd say put a pin in that. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. I can find a clear contradiction. Yeah, there's not a clear contradiction in what he said, so it's like I can't... Or unless I'm missing something. Like, you'd be able to hear a thump. Like, if you're lying in bed, it's all quiet. You'd hear a thump outside. I should tread lightly. Okay, then a few moments later I saw someone flying right by my window. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure, or a monkey. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night. I believe it was a human. Damn, I just strengthened his testimony. And if Acro's statement jives with the facts. There's nothing, and again, I don't feel like there's anything there. I'm very wary because of that little warning they had at the beginning. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. I can find a clear contradiction. Should tread lightly, yeah. It's like, just careful. It was Max Galactor. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Doesn't make that... See, that's the one that made me the first time through, because it's that case of... Didn't really... Like, that doesn't feel right compared to everything else that's gone on. We've always questioned this idea of, like, how are you sure? The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window. Safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat. As well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with his last bit of testimony. There is a contradiction. There is a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. Oh, I will. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of contradiction? Yes, I do. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. It's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat. Right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it. This is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats? I mean, it's possible. No. This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Oh, is it fibbing? I've never heard that word. As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. You okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today? Because he's the murderer. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Oh, murder? There's a murder? Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to be almost scary. You're staying rather calm and collected. Are we not addressing the birds at all? Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. Can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things? See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous, which is exactly what he wants you to think. Oh, I mean, he's the murderer. I mean, come on, she's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Oh, alright. Pheonix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, you should call us peanuts. That's how you do it. That's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice! What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? I feel like going with yes feels like a trick. Feels like a trick. Of course he didn't? I don't know, I just got this hunch that's like, why would you point me in that direction? Why have you pointed that out? Right, I'm only gonna lose one, right? So I'm gonna go with my gut. Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. What? Not this time, Von Kamm. I was worried I hit the wrong one then. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. You're blabbering about, Mr. Wright. There was no accomplice. Alright, so if we reanalyze this with this idea, because it brought it up for a reason, rather than me bringing up that idea of there being an accomplice. Like, she brought it up, which is what made me suspicious, and it's clearly that's the way it's going to go. So it's like, okay, so, if it's not the monkey, unless we're counting that as an accomplice, but not because it's not a human, but we'll assume no, it's just Acro. And then all I can think is the rope plus the Max's bust using the lamp outside. So rather than it being like a zip line or him raising and lowering Money the monkey, it is just he basically dropped the bust on whoever was below, which he thought was going to be Regina based on the note and stuff. But it was actually the ringmaster. And the only question is like, where did the cloak go? That's the bit. There's little details that I'm just like, wait, because it's like like something being dropped on him explains why the hat fell off. Explains why he was slumped over. But where did the cloak go? And where did the roses go? Because they're significant as well in this. They've been brought up as evidence before. So... okay, we'll still go with that. I've still got several questions with this. But anyway, there was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Oh, that's quite strange. Order! Order! What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. That's what I was basically, like, trying to figure out in my head, like, how does that actually work? Have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. See, now I'm starting to think this actually makes sense why the box had the pepper in it. Because maybe what was going on was the ringmaster went there to try and explain to Acro what had happened. Is like, maybe the ringmaster had figured out, like, no, what had happened is your brother had pepper on him, which caused the lion, Leon, to sneeze, which caused the whole thing. So it's an accident, no one got murdered, there's no malpractice, it's just simply an accident. It couldn't be helped. And maybe he was going to try and explain that to him so he'd stop his, like, sort of revenge towards Regina or something like that, but Acro had put into motion the plan to kill her, setting all this up, essentially. So it's like, that's what I'm thinking right now, but again, where's the cloak? Where are the roses? Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, if this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingling? Well, I'm going to put him in the 3rd floor. Like, right in the middle. Right? Take that! He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. Oh, fair enough then. I mean, you know, it's... Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. That would... So that's how he was spotted at the scene of the crime. Because it's the bust. Because it's the bust, it looks exactly like him. Of course! That explains so many little things. Alright, Most said that he saw Max, didn't he? So the cloak got caught on it? But Mayor, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? I can't leave my room. I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. I think I've got like 95% of it now. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right. Can't mess up here. Gotta give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room, no doubt about it. Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright. I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Russell Berry? So it would be... that, right? Just trying to think, like... that's probably the best one in terms of, like, showing... I mean, it's in both of them, but... I think that one's probably the more accurate one. What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? It's quite a large bust. And because it is life-size, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from the third-story window. Ah. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Oh, it does have an ample bust. I mean, oh, da. You're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. You should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? Well... Acro's at a loss for words. We got him. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro. You cut. Whoa! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor? The physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? On karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There was absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. But the defense's objection is overruled. I can't see things my way once in a while. Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him. Well, yes, of course. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. Acro's physical state. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. It makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. That is true. Plus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him. Don't you think? It's a good point. No doubts in regards to this witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention, he could not have known the location of the ringmaster. Said, a single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. Simply stalling, it's shameful, really. I can't let it get to me. Got to focus. Acro's physical state. Let's have a look. The only thing I can think of is if the box... I am thinking back right now to Ben's testimony. He never mentioned that he was carrying anything, so it would imply that the box is already there. Which would make him stop to investigate it, right? But my thought was very much the idea that he was bringing the pepper to show Acro to be like, hey, this is what caused the accident. It's like no one's to blame, but why would you put the box with the pepper there? I don't know. That's the only thing I've got to go on right now. It's like, what would make him stop in an exact location? It's like if there was a box there, and then he'd try and investigate the box, and it wouldn't help at all. But I do not remember Ben mentioning that he had a box with him. I think we'll pursue that kind of logic in the next part. So we'll see you then. Ta-ta for now.